Goodbye YouTube, how's it going everybody? I have for y'all today this really good onion battle I had against Kiyo about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And originally this was one of the battles I had saved up, but then as I mentioned in my update video, my folder got randomly deleted with all my videos, and this was one of those videos. Also, I am going to be on the other side because this is Kiyo's save file. The save file was saved in that folder that I had, so yeah, it was all deleted. But as I said, it was a good battle, so make sure to stick around for the whole thing. And one more thing that I want to talk about regarding my Wi-Fi battles is that I don't know if I'll be uploading many more Wi-Fi battles, because as many of you know, trying to find a good Wi-Fi battle nowadays is hard. It's extremely hard. Like, I try my best to get up at least one Wi-Fi battle a week. The reason why I say that is because that I might be posting more Showdown narrated battles from now on, and I know some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, Showdown, unsubscribing. Well, trust me, it's really hard, as I said, to get Wi-Fi battles nowadays. And actually, as you can see from this picture right here, I found this background that I got help from by Eon Blitz, and it kind of looks like a Wi-Fi battle almost, except on Showdown. The animations obviously aren't going to be the same as a Wi-Fi battle, but if you guys would like me to use this background for when I do upload post-narrated Showdown battles, to kind of get the feel of it being a Wi-Fi battle, then I will. But I want you guys to leave a comment down below on whether or not you would mind me uploading more Showdown post-narrated battles as opposed to post-narrated Wi-Fi battles. And yes, I know this is my channel, I should upload what I want to, but you guys are my subscribers, you subscribe to me, you watch my videos, I want you guys to enjoy the videos that I put out. Just know that probably more post-narrated Showdown battles are going to be coming out than narrated Wi-Fi battles, but I will try my best to get up at least one Wi-Fi battle a week. As I've said already, it's extremely hard to even get a decent Wi-Fi battle nowadays. And just, yeah, thank you for those of you who will stick around and not leave, because I will be uploading more post-narrated Showdown battles more than likely. But yeah, I've talked enough. Team preview, threats on Kiyo's side of the field. Mischievous is actually going to be a big problem, especially if I lose my Sawsbuck. Also, Roselia and Torkoal getting up hazards are going to be really annoying to my team, but I'm going to be leading off with my Seismitoad, thinking that he would lead off with the Torkoal, but he actually ends up leading off with the Roselia. Now, I know that the Giga Drain is way too obvious, so what I'm going to do is predict him just to go for a layer of spikes, and I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power. Then this turn, thinking that I would stay in, I'm actually going to switch into my Sawsbuck, predicting him to go for the Giga Drain to knock out my Seismitoad, but no, he does make the better play by going for a second layer of spikes. And even though I am leftovers, I'm thinking, alright, Roselia has horrible defense, even with the Eviolite. It lives on like maybe 10-15%, and this Sledge Bomb is easily going to knock out my Sawsbuck, which means that Mischievous has just become a major problem. So I'm going to bring in my Seismitoad, because at the amount of HP that he's at, I should be able to knock him out with an Earth Power. Kiyo knows this, so he's going to make the good play by bringing in the Altaria, predicting that even if I went for the Hydro Pump, it wouldn't have done anything to this Altaria because it does resist it. But this turn, I'm just going to switch into my Probopass, predicting him to go for a Dracometer. But Kiyo makes a good play again, double switches into the Torkoal, predicting that. And now I'm in a position where I can either go for the Power Gem, go for the Volt Switch, or just hard switch out. But what I'm going to do is predict him to get up a Stealth Rocks, and I'm going to go for the Power Gem. And judging for how much damage that did, it looks to be about an easy 2-hit KO depending on min-max. So what I'm going to do is actually predict him to want to switch out, knowing that another Power Gem might take him out. Kiyo might have use for Torkoal later on in the battle, so I'm going to just take this opportunity to get up my Stealth Rocks as he ends up switching directly into his Sock. And it turns out that his Sock has 30, which means I'm going to be able to live this close combat. But the reason why I stayed in was because I thought that the switch out to Musharna was way too obvious, so I predicted him to go for a Toxic, a Earthquake, or even double switch out. That way I could get switch initiative if he did switch out, or easily eat up whatever hit he wants to go for, borrowing the fact that it was an Earthquake or a close combat. But no, Kiyo does make the safe play by going for close combat. As I will switch into my Musharna, I'm going to Baton Pass out, predicting him to want to switch out. As he brings in the Roselia, I Baton Pass out to my Seismitoad, because at the amount of HP that is at, I can easily knock him out with the Hydro Pump or an Earth Power, and I really don't want to miss my Hydro Pump, so I'm just make the safe play, go for the Earth Power, knock out the Roselia, as he brings back in this giant ass threat known as Sock. At this point, my Probopass is basically useless to me. I mean, it dies off the hazards anyways, and then I can see what Sock wants to lock himself into, allowing me to now bring in my Musharna. And because all these hazards are up, my Musharna is really getting worn down, so the only real move I can even go for right now is the Moonlight, because if I switch into another close combat from Sock, he might be able to 2-hit KO me depending on min-max, especially after the hazard. So going for the Moonlight was definitely my better play, and he knows this, so he does get a free switch into the float zone. I'm thinking, alright, float zone doesn't really have anything that can touch Musharna. I'm just going to go straight for the side shock, easily to a KO the float zone, but no, it just barely fails to be a 2 KO, and then this turn predicting him to go for another bulk up. I'm actually going to go for the Thunder Wave, risking the fact that he could possibly carry the Lumberry. Thankfully though, Kiyo does not have the Lumberry, and I'm able to kind of cripple this float zone, and I'm going to go for the side shock, hoping that he gets paralyzed because I cannot allow my Musharna to take a huge hit, and thankfully for me, his float zone is poorly trained, and I'm going to be able to knock him out the following turn with the third side shock, I believe, as he now brings in the Altaria. I know that I will be able to take a Specs Draco Meteor, so what I'm going to do is just stay in, go for the Moonlight, then from there on I can baton pass out, predicting him 2-1 on switch out, but he actually ends up going for the Fire Blast. I don't really know why. I'm pretty sure Draco would have done more, but either way it's not that big of a deal because this turn I am just going to go for the baton pass, predicting him 2-1 on switch out, as he brings in the Torkoal, possibly for fodder, thinking I might want to go for the side shock. I am going to be able to baton pass out into my Seismitoad, and at this point I thought about this play for like about a good minute, because if I substitute and he stays in rapid spins, then I lose my rocks, but if I go straight for the Earth Power or Hydro Pump and knock him out, he then brings back in the Altaria, and in the end I decided to go for the substitute, hoping that Kiyo would switch into Altaria because he's done that already. Because he's done that already, and thankfully that is what happens. I'm able to get up a free substitute, and I'm just going to take this opportunity to go for the Hydro Pump because maybe I can get a crit or something, but I do not get a crit, and this Hydro Pump does a decent bit of damage, and judging for how much HP he is, I was pretty positive that he would die off to rock, so at this point I know he's going to leave an Altaria for fodder, but I thought that this hidden power was hidden power ground because that's normally what standard Altaria run, right? But no, it turns out to be hidden power flying, and I basically lose my girder for nothing because not even a Mach Punch at the amount of HP that he's at is going to be able to knock him out, and now he's going to be able to just knock me out with a second hidden power flying. So yeah, I basically lose my girder to a stupid play. I should have just left in Seismitoad to then get a free switch into my girder, but yeah, that was just really stupid of me. As I bring in my Skuntank, I know that he's just going to leave an Altaria, so I'm going to go straight for the Sucker Punch and easily knock that out. And normally Skuntank would be able to deal with Mischievous, but this is actually the mixed Skuntank set, so yeah, my only offensive moves are Pursuit and Sucker Punch, so at this point Mischievous is still a massive giant ass threat that I have to find some way to get rid of. So thinking that he would just go for an Earthquake or Close Combat, I'm going to make the safe switch into my Musharna, as he does just end up going for the CC. That's fine by me because now I can stay in, I can either Baton Pass, I can Side Shock, or I can just go for the Moonlight, and I believe I do end up going for the Moonlight because again with hazards up, I cannot risk my Musharna being below or near 50% HP because Sock might be able to easily knock me out with 2 Close Combats. So he ends up bringing in the Torkoal, and much to my surprise, I'm actually going to be faster than Torkoal, because I thought Torkoal would be faster than me, but yeah, that is not the case. I'm able to get rid of the Torkoal, allowing me to keep up my rocks for the remainder of this battle. As he brings in the Mischievous, I'm thinking, alright, I really have nothing that I can do to this Mischievous. Like at this point I honestly thought, well, the battle's basically over because I can't touch this thing, because Side Shock does practically nothing. So this turn I'm going to switch into my Skuntank, hoping that he doesn't Will-O-Wisp, and more than likely will just go for the Shadow Ball. And thankfully that is going to be what Kiyo is going to go for, the Shadow Ball, as I bring in my Skuntank. And at this point, this is literally the most important part of this battle. So what I'm going to do is predict him to predict me to not go for the offensive move, predicting him to maybe want to go for a Will-O-Wisp, thinking that I don't have the crunch, but I don't really know why I would think that, considering the fact that just about every Skuntank does carry crunch. Luckily for me though, Kiyo does go for the Shadow Ball. I'm able to knock out Mischievous, allowing me to basically seal the victory, because at this point Sock cannot do anything to Musharna, and that's going to be the 2-0 victory in my favor because I had Musharna and Seismitoad left. So yeah, that was definitely a good close game. It was really intense, especially that turn between Mischievous and Skuntank, because if he had gone for the Will-O-Wisp and burned my Skuntank, then he basically would have won the battle. Luckily though, he did just think I did have the crunch, and I was able to Sucker Punch on a Shadow Ball and knock out Mischievous to win me the battle. So yeah, with that guys, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to some more content. As I said, I might be posting some more post-narrated showdown battles. Hopefully you guys don't unsubscribe, but if you do, then that's understandable. But yeah, with that, I've taken up enough of your time. This is about 10 minutes long, and yeah, I'm out of here. Later everybody.